Hello students, good morning and welcome to the third lecture of chapter 4 standard 12 moving charge and magnetism. Now in last video lecture, if you remember, we have discussed about the Lorentz force acting on a charged particle moving in a uniform magnetic field. So the Lorentz force acting on a charged particle moving in uniform magnetic field and electric field is given as Lorentz force F equal to Q into E plus V cross B. This is the Lorentz force acting on a charged particle moving in a uniform magnetic field, where electrical force is QE, which we know that already, right? And magnetic force is Q into V cross B. Now large number of MCQs can be asked based on this concept, like when you can say that the magnetic force acting on a charged particle moving in a uniform magnetic field is maximum. So the magnetic force acting on a charged particle moving in uniform magnetic field will be maximum when V is perpendicular to B. Velocity and magnetic field both are perpendicular to each other, then force will be maximum. When force will be 0 or minimum, right? So force will be 0 when V is parallel to B, right? Or when V is in opposite direction of B, parallel or anti-parallel to each other, right? So in that case, force will be minimum. Now in this video lecture, we are going to solve 2-3 MCQs based on this formula, and then we are going to derive that equation which we have discussed in our last video lecture. Look, in last video lecture, we have used formula F equal to IL cross B, which was given by Ampere, F equal to IL cross B, and based on that formula, we have derived this formula. So in this video lecture, we are going to do exactly opposite of this. That is, we are going to consider this equation, we will accept this equation directly, and from this equation we will derive F equal to IL cross P. Okay, so before that, let us solve few MCQs based on this concept. The first one is, suppose we have an electron. You can see here question, an electron is moving with a velocity of 4 into 10 to the power 4 meter per second. Let us say first one, an electron is moving with a velocity of 4 into 10 to the power 4 meter per second in a uniform magnetic field of 5 into 10 to the power minus 5 Tesla. An electron is moving with a velocity of 4 into 10 to the power 4 meter per second in an uniform magnetic field of 5 into 10 to the power minus 5 Tesla. Then the maximum magnetic force acting on it will be, you want to find maximum magnetic force. So as we have seen that the force will be maximum if V is perpendicular to B. So the magnetic force, formula for magnetic force is F equal to, in magnitude will be QVB sin theta, right? So here F will be equal to F maximum, magnetic force M will be maximum, which is equal to QVB if theta is 90 degree. If theta is 90 degree, that is V is perpendicular to B. So therefore F maximum, magnetic force maximum will be, electron is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 into 4 into 10 to the power 4 into 5 into 10 to the power minus 5. So 5 4s are 20. 20 into 1.6 is 32. So 32 into 10 to the power minus 20, or you can write 3.2 into 10 to the power minus 19 Newton. This will be the force acting on an electron moving in a uniform magnetic field. Maximum force acting on an electron moving in a uniform magnetic field. Right. In the same way, suppose we have a proton. A proton is moving with a velocity of 10 I cap meter per second. A proton is moving with a velocity of 10 I cap meter per second in a uniform magnetic field of, let us say, B is equal to 5 K cap Tesla. Then find the, let me write J cap, 5 J cap Tesla. Then find the magnetic force acting on it. A proton is moving with a velocity of 10 I cap meter per second in a uniform magnetic field of 5 J cap Tesla. Then find the magnetic force acting on it. So we have formula magnetic force F equal to Q into V cross B, and that is equal to Q is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. Remember, here electron, charge of electron is negative, right? But we have considered in magnitude. That's why we are not writing negative sign over here. So 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 into 10 I cap cross 5 J cap. So 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. 10 into 5. 10 5 is a 50. So this is 50 into I cross J is K cap. I cross J is K cap. Now 16 into 5 is 80. Right? 16 into 5 will be 80. So 80 into 10 to the power minus 19 K cap will be the answer. Right? 80 into 10 to the power minus 19 K cap. You have to remember this thing. Look, unit vector I cap, unit vector J cap and K cap. If you are moving in clockwise direction, this cycle you have to remember, right? If you are moving in clockwise direction, it will be positive, and anti-clockwise it will be negative. Now I cross J, we want to find I cross J. I cross J, hide this, is K. J cross K, if you hide J cross K, it is I, and K cross I will be J. But if you are moving in anti-clockwise direction, right? If you are moving like this, then we have to consider negative sign. So in that case, J cross I will be minus K. I cross K will be minus J, and K cross J will be minus I. Clear? One more example based on this. Let us discuss one more example based on this concept. Suppose we have a particle of charge 2 coulomb. Let us say we have a particle of charge 2 coulomb. A charge particle having charge, a charge particle having charge 2 coulomb is passing through a uniform magnetic field of 4K Tesla and some electric field and some kind of electric field with a velocity of 25 J cap meter per second. The velocity is given as 25 J cap meter per second. If the Lorentz force acting on it, is, let us say, 100 I cap Newton, then find the electric field in that region. Right? So obviously you can see that this is most important MCQ for a good set, right? So here you can see that given, what is given over here? Q is given as 2 coulomb. Magnetic field B is given as 4 K cap Tesla. Vector quantity, right? Velocity is given as 25 J cap meter per second. And force, Lorentz force is given as 100 I cap Newton. We have to find electric field. So here as we know that according to Lorentz force, or the Lorentz force acting on a charged particle moving in a uniform electric as well as magnetic field, is given as F equal to Q into V cross B. Sorry, F equal to Q into E plus V cross B. Just we have to simplify this, right? So Q here is actually, force here is 100 I cap equal to Q is 2 into electric field is unknown plus 25 J cap cross 4 K cap. So if you take 2 on the other side, this will be 50 I cap is equal to electric field is unknown plus 25 into 4, 25 into 4 is 100. J cross K, as we have discussed, J cross K clockwise direction will be I, 100 I cap, right? So therefore electric field E will be equal to, if you take 100 I cap on the other side, so minus 100 I cap plus 50 I cap, so there is minus 50 I cap Newton per Coulomb. This will be the value of the electric field of that region. Clear? So pause this video and copy this. Now, as we have discussed, we will derive the formula for the force acting on a current carrying wire kept in a uniform magnetic field. Look, the concept of the force acting on a charged particle moving in a uniform magnetic field can be extended, can be generalized for the number of charges flowing through a given conducting rod or a wire, straight wire. So let us consider a rod. Let the length of the straight wire or rod, if you want to write, be L, and its area of cross section, let us say its area of cross section is A. So let us assume that we have a rod of length L and the area of cross section is A. The magnitude of each charge present inside the rod be Q. So here Q represents the, Q is magnitude of charge carrier or charge, each charge. Q represents the magnitude of each charge. In this case, obviously we know that it will be electron, right? Let number density be N. What is number density? You have learned this in chapter 3. Number density is nothing but number of charge carrier per unit volume. So here number density N is total number of charges per unit volume. So that is equal to N over what is volume of this rod, area into length. So this implies that total number of charges present inside the rod will be NaL. NaL, right? This is the total number of charges. Suppose these charges are flowing at a steady rate. They are moving with a steady speed, you can say. That is, they have a constant average drift velocity Vd. So let us say Vd represents the average drift velocity for all these charges, average drift velocity for all these charges. So the magnetic force acting on it will be F equal to total charge into Vd cross B. Total charge into Vd cross B. Now what is total charge? In first chapter you have come across quantization of charge. Total charge is number of charge into magnitude of each charge, value of each charge. So your total charge will be equal to N into Q. Here Q is the charge of each particle, right? Q is charge of each particle and N is total number of charges into Vd cross B. So this will be equal to, what is N? NaL. So NaLQ into Vd cross B. Now remember, the velocity of this charged particle will be along the length of the rod, right? So you can change this as NaQVd into L cross B. Why we are changing this? Because NaQVd, you might have come across this term. Let this be equation number 1. Also, you must be knowing that J is equal to I by A and that is equal to NQVd. if you remember this thing, J is equal to I by A, and that is NQVD. So this implies that I will be equal to NQVDA. NQVDA. I will be equal to NQVDA. So NQVDA will be I. So therefore the force acting on that current carrying wire kept in a uniform magnetic field will be IL cross B. Force F will be equal to IL cross B. Clear? Now based on this concept, we do have two solved example and two unsolved example based on this formula. It can be asked like you have a current carrying wire. Suppose we have a current carrying wire which is kept in a uniform magnetic field, right? What should be the magnitude of that magnetic field so that this wire will remain in air, right? So when a wire is suspended in air, obviously gravitational force mg will act in downward direction. Now if the magnetic force, this force acting on this current carrying wire is in upward direction and its magnitude is equal to mg, then obviously this current carrying wire will remain at the same place, right? So based on this, we have one example, that is example 4.1. Example 4.1. A straight wire of mass 200 gram. Mass is given as 200 gram. A straight wire of mass 200 gram and length 1.5 meter. 200 gram is 0.2 kg and length is given as 1.5 meter. Carries a current of 2 ampere. It is carrying current of I is equal to 2 ampere. It is suspended in mid-air by a uniform horizontal magnetic field B. Uniform horizontal magnetic field is given as B. What is the magnitude of this magnetic field? So if a wire is suspended in a uniform magnetic field, let us say this is that wire which is suspended in uniform magnetic field. Now for this wire, let us say if current is flowing in this direction, this is the direction of current I. Okay, suppose if magnetic force acting on it is in upward direction, actually it should be in upward direction. This is the magnetic force acting on a current carrying wire in upward direction, and in downward direction the weight of the rod or the current carrying wire will act, that is mg. For this wire, for this rod or wire to remain at the same position, right, for this wire to remain in mid-air at the same position, for given wire or rod, if Fm magnetic force is equal to mg, then it will remain in mid-air, right? If mg is greater than magnetic force, then obviously this rod will move in downward direction, and if magnetic force is more than mg, then this rod will move in upward direction. But if both are same, then this rod will remain at the same point, right? So Fm must be equal to mg. What is Fm? So here Fm will be equal to ILB into, sorry, ILB must be equal to mg. The maximum force here, I and B are perpendicular to each other. We have assumed that I and B both are perpendicular to each other. Is it given? Okay, it is given that magnetic field is inside the plane of the board. Cross sign is given like this, right? So it means that if you write cross over here, as we have discussed, cross indicates magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of the board and it is entering inside. So magnetic field is inside and current is in this direction. So magnetic field is inside, that is in the direction of this thumb, and current is in this direction, right? So both are perpendicular to each other. So magnetic force will be ILB because IL is perpendicular to B. IL is perpendicular to B. and you can check the direction of force. Look, IL cross B, formula is actually IL cross B. So IL is in this direction and B is inside. IL cross B, so IL is in this direction, and I will rotate or bend my finger in the direction of B, that is inside towards the board. So my thumb will show the direction of force, right? So force will be in upward direction. Look, IL cross B, it simply means that what you have to do, your palm should be in the direction of IL and your forefinger must bend in the direction of B, right? So your current is in this direction, this is the direction of current, right? And magnetic field is inside, so my finger will bend towards the board. So this thumb will show the direction of force, which is in upward direction. So obviously randomly we have not drawn this, magnetic force will be in upward direction and mg will be in downward direction. If the direction of current is this, then obviously if current is flowing in this direction, in that case this rod will experience force Fm in downward direction. So it will not remain in air, it will fall down. Okay. So I, here I is given as 2, L is given as 1.5, B we have to find is equal to M is 0.2 and G is 9.8. So B will be equal to 0.2 into 9.8 divided by 3. So 0.2 into 9.8, 0.2 into 9.8 divided by 3 will give you 0.65333 and so on Tesla. This will be the magnitude of magnetic field to keep this rod in air. Clear? Pause this video and copy this. We will solve one more example, that is example 4.2. Now the next example which we are going to solve is example 4.2. Example 4.2. Now in this example, it is given that if the magnetic field is parallel to the positive y-axis, magnetic field is along y-axis, and the charge particle is moving along the x-axis, magnetic field is along y-axis, so you can write B vector is B j cap. Let us write unit Tesla. It is not given. Instead of Tesla you can write unit because it is not given. Its unit is not given. And the charge particle is moving along the positive x-axis. So you can say that velocity v is v I cap, meter per second you can write, or you can write unit because unit is not given. Okay. Figure 4.4. Which way would the Lorentz force for an electron, a proton be? Means we want to find force, Lorentz force acting on an electron as well as on a proton. So there are two different methods in which we can find the force, but let me draw figure first. This is x-axis, this is y-axis, and this is z-axis. Now it is given that magnetic field is along y direction, so we can draw like this. Magnetic field is in upward direction. This is the direction of magnetic field. Uniform magnetic field B is in upward direction. A charge particle is moving along x-axis. So this is the charge particle. Let us write P for proton, and it is moving in this direction with velocity v. Now the magnetic force acting on a charge particle Fm is actually Q into V cross B. Magnetic force acting on a charge particle is Fm equal to Q into V cross B. Now look, here charge particle is moving along x-axis and magnetic field is along y-axis. So according to our rule, what we do what we will do is V cross B, you have to keep your palm in the direction of V and your forefinger should bend in the direction of B. So here you can see that particle is moving in this direction, particle is moving in this direction, magnetic field is in upward direction, right? Particle is moving along x-axis and magnetic field is along y-axis, so thumb is towards you. So it means that for proton the force will act in along z-axis. So this is the force acting on proton along positive z-axis, right? Or for proton, Fm will be equal to Q is actually plus E into V I cap cross B j cap. So plus E VB I cross J is K cap. So you can say that if you have written this in SI unit, then this will be Newton, or unit you have to write. So plus EVB K cap. So this magnetic force acting on proton will be along positive Z axis. In the same way, for electron, Fm will be equal to minus E into V I cap cross B J cap. So this is minus EVB, I cross J is K cap. So obviously Newton or unit, whatever you want to write. So minus EVB K cap. So this force will be along negative Z axis. Look, we have already discussed that if we have two charged particles which have same magnitude, but one is positively charged and the other one is negative charge, then the force acting on both these charges moving with same velocity in uniform magnetic field will be equal. Force will be equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. So here you can see that here force for proton is EVB and here force for electron is minus EVB. So both are equal in magnitude, but one is along positive Z axis while the another one is along negative Z axis. Clear? So for two charged particles having same magnitude but different in sign, that is one is positively charged and the another one is negatively charged, force acting on them will be equal if they are moving with same velocity in a same magnetic field but opposite, right? Force will be equal and opposite. Clear? So this is it for this video lecture, and in next video lecture we are going to discuss about the force acting on a charged particle moving in a magnetic field. Means what will be the effect of that force? Is it going to increase its velocity or decrease its velocity if a charged particle is moving in a magnetic field? As well as we are going to discuss about velocity selector and of course two unsolved example based on this concept. So till then, keep on reading, keep on writing and keep on preparing. Thank you.